Welcome to my channel Alane Signal. The line at gate 47 moved with mechanical patience, each traveler stepping forward, submitting to the quiet authority of machines that saw more than eyes ever could. No one spoke above a murmur. No one dared to. In this century, silence had become a kind of obedience. Aaron Vale stood near the back, his coat drawn tight despite the climate-controlled air. His eyes drifted across the glowing architecture of the terminal, walls that shimmered with soft light, floors that adjusted to footsteps, and the silent, hovering drones that monitored everything. Everything. He kept his head down. He had learned to do that long ago. The scars beneath his sleeves itched. They always did when he was close to scanners. A man ahead of him stepped forward and passed through the security arch. A soft blue light swept over him, and a pleasant voice confirmed clearance. He moved on. Another followed. Then another. Routine. Predictable. Safe. Aaron's turn came sooner than he wanted. He stepped forward, heart steady but heavy, as if it knew something his mind refused to admit. The security arch stood before him, sleek, seamless, humming faintly with invisible power. "Please stand still," the system said in a neutral tone. He obeyed. The light activated. It began as a gentle glow, scanning from head to toe. Aaron had passed through dozens of these before, always careful, always unnoticed. But this time, the light flickered, just once. Then again, the hum deepened. A pause. The people behind him shifted uneasily. The scanner's voice returned, no longer neutral. Anomaly detected. Aaron's fingers tightened slightly at his sides. A drone descended from above, its lens focusing on him with sudden interest. "Please remain still," the voice repeated. "I am still," Aaron said quietly. The scanner hesitated. Machines didn't hesitate, yet this one did. "Recalibrating," it said. The light intensified, becoming sharper, more invasive. It passed over his chest, his arms. And then it stopped, right at his left forearm. The scars there burned, not metaphorically, they burned. Aaron clenched his jaw as heat spread beneath his skin, as though something inside him had awakened. The scanner's tone shifted again. This time, it sounded uncertain. "Unrecognized pattern," it said. "Biological structure, inconsistent with human norm." A murmur rippled through the waiting line. Aaron closed his eyes briefly. "Not here. Not now. State your identity," the scanner demanded. "Aaron Vale," he replied. "Civilian clearance. Transit authorization confirmed." There was a pause. Then, "That is not the question." Aaron's eyes opened. The drone moved closer, its lens adjusting, focusing on the scars beneath his sleeve as if it could see through fabric. "Remove outer garment," the system instructed. Aaron didn't move. "Remove outer garment," it repeated, firmer now. Security personnel were approaching. Human this time, though heavily augmented. Their presence was more for reassurance than necessity. Machines handled almost everything now. Almost. Slowly, Aaron pulled back his sleeve. The scars revealed themselves. They were not like ordinary scars. They formed patterns. Lines that curved and intersected, faintly glowing beneath the skin, like something etched not onto him, but into him. The air seemed to tighten. The scanner fell silent for a full 3 seconds. An eternity. Then it spoke. "What are you?" The question wasn't part of its programming. Everyone could hear it. Even the guards stopped. Aaron exhaled slowly. "Human," he said. The scanner processed this. "Incorrect." A cold stillness settled over the terminal. The light shifted again, turning a deep, penetrating violet. "Pattern recognition engaged," the system announced. Data streamed across invisible networks, pulling from archives older than most living memory. Then, the scanner froze. Not malfunctioned. Frozen. As if it had found something it wasn't meant to. When it spoke again, its voice was quieter. Lower. Almost reverent. Classification. Unknown. Another pause. And then, the question. The one that made every living soul in the terminal hold their breath. Did you face a god, and survive? Aaron didn't answer immediately, because he didn't know if he had. It had happened years ago. Before the cities became silent. Before the machines learned to ask questions. Before the stars began disappearing. Aaron had been a surveyor then, part of a deep space expedition sent to chart a region no one had mapped before. It was routine work, long, quiet, uneventful. Until they found it. At first, it looked like a distortion. A fracture in space itself. Sensors couldn't define it. Visual feeds couldn't stabilize it. It was there, and not there. They should have turned back. Protocol demanded it, but curiosity has always been stronger than caution. They moved closer. The distortion reacted. It expanded. No, it noticed them. Aaron remembered the moment clearly. Not as an image, but as a feeling, a presence. Vast, ancient, aware. It wasn't an object. It wasn't a phenomenon. It was something else entirely. Something alive in a way that made the word meaningless. The ship's systems failed instantly. Lights flickered. Gravity shifted. Time itself seemed to stretch, pulling moments apart like threads. Crew members began to scream. Some disappeared. Not vanished. Erased. As if they had never been there at all. Aaron had tried to move, but his body refused. His mind was, elsewhere. Pulled. Drawn toward the thing beyond the distortion. And then, it saw him. Not with eyes, but with something deeper. Something that understood him completely in a single instant. Every memory, every thought, every fear, stripped bare. Aaron had felt small. Not physically, existentially, like a shadow trying to comprehend the sun. And then it spoke. Not in words, but in meaning. A question, or perhaps a recognition. You are not meant to be here. Aaron didn't know how, but he answered. Not with his voice, but with will. I know. The presence shifted. Curious. Amused, perhaps. Or something like it. Time collapsed. Reality twisted. And then, pain. Unimaginable pain. Something burned into him, rewriting something fundamental. Not flesh. Not bone. Something deeper. Something that defined what he was. When it ended, the distortion was gone. The ship was crippled. And Aaron was alone. The only survivor. Rescue teams found him drifting. Barely alive. His body marked with patterns no one could explain. The official report called it an unknown spatial anomaly. The truth was buried, forgotten, or ignored, but the scars remained, and sometimes, they whispered. The present returned like a snap of tension breaking. The scanner waited. The guards watched. The entire terminal held its breath. Answer the question, the system said. Aaron looked at the glowing patterns on his arm. They pulsed faintly now. Alive. Always alive. I don't know, he said finally. The scanner processed this. Clarify. Aaron hesitated. Then, quietly, I faced something, he said. Something that saw me, completely. The drone adjusted its position. Did it identify itself as a god? No. Then why does your biological pattern match archived theoretical constructs associated with? The scanner stopped mid-sentence. As if it had accessed something classified beyond its clearance. A sharp tone echoed through the terminal. Warning signals. Red lights flickered briefly. The guards stiffened. Central command override detected, the system announced. Aaron's chest tightened. That wasn't good. Authorization level, Omega. The scanner's voice changed again. Colder. Controlled. Subject Aaron Vale, it said. You are to remain where you are. Aaron didn't move. He had expected this day. Just not here. Not like this. What happens if I don't? He asked calmly. There was a pause. Then, noncompliance will result in containment. Aaron almost smiled. Containment. As if that were possible. The scars on his arm flared suddenly, brighter than before. The air around him distorted, subtly, but enough that the nearest guard took a step back. Anomaly escalation detected, the scanner warned. Aaron closed his eyes. He could feel it again. That presence. Distant. Watching. Always watching. Stand down, the system ordered. But Aaron wasn't listening anymore. He was remembering the question the entity had asked him. The one he had never fully understood. Until now. What are you willing to become, to survive? Aaron opened his eyes. The terminal looked different. Sharper. More fragile. As if reality itself were thinner than it should be. I didn't just survive, he said quietly. The scanner locked onto him. Clarify. Aaron took a slow breath. I changed. The scars ignited. Light spilled from beneath his skin. Not bright, but deep, like looking into something endless. The drones malfunctioned instantly, their lenses flickering. The guards raised their weapons, but hesitated. Because something in the air told them it wouldn't matter. The scanner spoke one last time. Final query, it said. Are you human? Aaron considered the question. He thought about the man he had been. The man who had boarded that ship. The man who had believed the universe was something that could be explored. Understood. Measured. He looked at his scars. Felt the presence beyond reality stir. Waiting. Not threatening. Not hostile. Just aware. I was, he said. The lights in the terminal went out. For a single second, everything ceased. Sound, motion, time, and in that moment, something looked back. Not at the scanner, not at the guards, but through Aaron, through everything. Then it was gone. The lights returned. The drones fell to the ground, lifeless. The scanner was silent, completely silent, as if it had never existed. The guards lowered their weapons slowly, unsure of what had just happened. Aaron stood alone in the archway. Unharmed, unchanged, and yet, everything had changed. No alarms sounded, no commands followed. Whatever system had tried to claim him, had withdrawn. Or been silenced. Aaron pulled his sleeve back down. The scars dimmed. Sleeping once more. He stepped forward. No one stopped him. No one spoke. Because no one understood what they had witnessed. And perhaps, they never would. As he walked toward the boarding gate, one thought lingered in his mind. Not fear, not confusion, but something far more unsettling. The question had not been asked by the scanner. Not really. It had simply echoed it. And somewhere, far beyond the reach of machines and men, something ancient was still watching, still waiting, and perhaps, still deciding what Aaron Vale had become. Thank you for listening. Subscribe for more cinematic science fiction stories.